I gave my mother-in-law a key that opens nothing. So when my husband and I bought our house, his mom Diane somehow ended up with a key. I don't even know how. Marcus says he gave it to her for emergencies back when we moved in, and I was so busy unpacking I didn't think about it. Then it became a thing. I'd be home on a random Tuesday, in the shower or making lunch, and I'd hear the front door just open. And there's Diane standing in my kitchen with a grocery bag going, "I brought you some soup, don't mind me." Like this was normal. Like I hadn't just heard a stranger walk into my house. I talked to Marcus about it. He said, "She means well, she's just used to being involved." I said, "She let herself in while I was asleep." He said, "So lock the deadbolt when you nap," as if that was a solution. It kept happening. She reorganized my pantry once, moved all my spices into a system. Another time I came home from work at 6 p.m. and she was sitting on my couch watching my TV because the light was better here. She didn't even text. The last straw was in October. I'd had a rough week, took a mental health day, and I was lying in bed at like 11 a.m. when I heard the door and then her voice calling out, "Yoo-hoo, it's just me." She walked all the way back to the bedroom, saw me under the covers, and said, "Oh, still in bed? Must be nice." I said, "Diane, you can't just come in like this." She said, "Honey, I have a key. That's what the key is for." So the next day I called a locksmith and changed the locks. $200. Marcus wasn't thrilled. He said, "You could have just asked her to knock." I said I did ask her many times and she thinks the key means she lives here. Then Diane found out, because of course she tried the key that weekend and it didn't work, and she called Marcus in a panic like someone had broken in. He put her on speaker. She was saying, "Did they change the locks? Why would they change the locks? What are they hiding?" Marcus looked at me like, "Please just fix this." So I said, "Sweet as anything, Diane, I'm so sorry, we had a security thing with the old lock. Let me get you a new key." And she goes, "Oh, thank God. Yes, I need my key." So I got her a key. I went to the hardware store and had them cut me a copy of a key. Just a random blank shaped like a house key. Fits nothing. Opens nothing. Not my door, not any door. A little piece of brass with teeth that mean absolutely nothing. I put it on a nice keychain, wrapped it in tissue paper even. And that Sunday when she came over, she knocked this time because her key wasn't working. I handed it to her like it was jewelry. She said, "Oh, you didn't have to wrap it." I said, "Your family." Of course I did. She was so happy. She actually hugged me. Said, "See, I knew there was a nice girl under there somewhere." For 3 weeks, everything was calm. She'd knock, I'd let her in, we'd have coffee. Civil. I thought maybe she'd just gotten the message and the key was more of a symbol to her, you know, like being trusted. Then last Thursday, I got a call from Marcus at work. He's laughing, but it's the nervous kind. He says, "Where are you right now?" I said, "At the office." "Why?" He said, "My mom's standing on our porch. She's been trying her key for like 10 minutes. She called me because she thinks the lock is broken again." I said, "The lock's not broken." He said, "I know it's not broken. She sent me a video of her jiggling it." Then he goes quiet for a second and says, "That's not the same key we gave her originally, is it?" I said, "Nope." "What did you give her?" I said, "A key." He said, "A key to what?" I said, "Nothing. It's a key to nothing. It doesn't open anything anywhere. It never did." He didn't say anything for a long moment. I could hear Diane in the background of the video he was watching going, "It's stuck again, Marcus, it's stuck." Then he said real slow, "So for 3 weeks my mother has been carrying around a key that opens nothing." "Correct." He said, "You're insane." I said, "She wanted a key so she'd feel like she has access. Now she has a key and she feels great and she still can't get into my house. Everybody wins." He said I had to tell her. I said, "Why?" "She's thrilled. She's got her key. Let her knock like a guest and let the little brass thing live on her ring, making her feel loved. She still got it. She showed it to a neighbor last week and called it her spare to the kids' place."